Hey everyone, and welcome to another hemp tip. Today we'll be talking about bud rot, how to prevent it, and what to do if you get it. Bud rot is a gray mold that thrives in environments with poor air circulation and high moisture, and can attack the stems, leaves, and flowers of a hemp plant. So preventing bud rot requires not just good air circulation and low moisture, but active maintenance of the plant to ensure that the environment is consistent throughout the entire plant. This means proper defoliation of the leaves so that moisture isn't trapped between them, and this will also allow proper airflow throughout the plant as well. For really humid environments, running a dehumidifier will be necessary, and of course, when watering the plants, avoid getting water on the plant leaves and flowers. This is especially important if your buds are really large, because it's very easy for moisture to get trapped in between these bud crevices. And unfortunately, if your plant does get bud rot, most of the time it's undetectable until the entire bud that's affected is already rotten, since the process typically happens from the inside out. Outdoor plants also need to worry about pests, because if a caterpillar, let's say, does eat a hole through your buds, this leaves it weakened to easily be attacked by mold. Once a plant is showing signs of bud rot, such as the buds turning soggy and brown, easily crumbling to the touch, or if it's developing some sort of mold fuzz around it, there's no saving that part of the plant. And anywhere on the plant showing signs of bud rot will need to be removed immediately. For example, you can see here the bottom bud has completely rotted, and now the bud rot is slowly moving up the stem, with the only visual indication that it has affected the bud above it being a little bit of white fuzz at the base of the bud. Also, since this often happens near the end of the flowering stage, it's almost always best to just harvest the plant and save any parts that doesn't appear to have been affected yet. And honestly, if you can afford to do so, I'd recommend just scrapping the plant altogether. But if you do plan on going ahead and harvesting an affected plant, this is going to be a little tricky, because you need to ensure that any harvested buds are safe, which will require examination of the buds both visually and by giving it a good squeeze to ensure that the interior of the bud is also okay. Once you save the parts that can be saved, I recommend washing the harvest in a hydrogen peroxide mix, which would be 1 part 3% hydrogen peroxide with 4 parts of water. Let the bud soak in the wash for 5 to 10 minutes, and then you can rinse it quickly with water before drying them. The hydrogen peroxide will kill any of the mold spores that might be on the plant to help prevent the bud rot from affecting the buds as they dry. And washing the buds won't affect the trichomes or the potency of the buds. And as long as you dry it quickly, it's not going to increase the risk of having the buds rot while they're drying. And that's it. Like the content? Then be sure to check out our beginner's guide to creating CBD products from scratch, available at Amazon in print and digital, with links in the description below. You can also find us at hempinapot.com.